Ramaphosa, Deputy President Babe Didi Mabuza, Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers, Honorable Members, I greet you all. Angithathe leli thuba ngisho ukuthi iANC yalisekela loluphakelo mali dimali lelihhovisi lebungameli. Mhlonishwa sekela somlomo sitsingitsa loluphakelo dimali lelihhovisi lebungameli balelive emva kwemalanga lamabili mongameli walelive abe nemhlangano nesive saseNingizimu Afrika. Lebe kumhlangano lobaluleke kakhulu njengoba bekasixwayisa ngemjikelo wesithathu wale umkhuhlane lolubhubhane wesikhololo. Lekungumkhuhlane longahlaselanga live lethu kuphela kepha uhlasele umhlaba wonke. Siyabonga buholi bebungameli balelive lobu ngaso sonke isikhathi buyasixwayisa njengoba sixwayisile ukuthi kutfunza letine talelive sewukhona ungenile lo mkhuhlane. Sithanda ukuxwayisa sive sinhlangano yakhongolose ukuthi asiqhubekeni silandzele lemigomo lebekiwe lekungiyo yona lekufanele siyilandzele lebekwe betempilo yokuthi sichelelane sigeze tandla sifake futhi netifonyo kude siphephe kulomkhuhlane. Sithanda kubonga futhi nebaholi betenkolo nabo bonke baholi bemphakathi lebabe khona laba labatinikelako ukuthi bahambe bayojova njengoba uhulumende wethu alivulile lelihlelo lekujova futhi baphinze bakhuthate nemalunga emabandla abo ukuthi baye bayojova. Siyababonga kakhulu. Nathi simalunga alesishamthetho sithi mase isifikile isikhathi sethu sitawuhamba nathi siyojova. Siyabonga kakhulu ehhovisini lebungameli. Even though in some sectors of our society the NCCC were blamed for such decisions, for taking decisions of hard lockdowns, putting first the lives of South Africans above profit. They were blamed for that. But as the ANC, we applaud the NCCC led by our president for doing so, for preserving the lives of South Africans than profit. As the ANC, we also applaud the successful rollout of the vaccination program. We encourage all society to go and take their jabs as and when their turns come. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we believe that this vaccination, as we were told, it minimizes the risk of death. We can no longer, as a country, lose members of our society, our colleagues in this house. It can no longer be. So we urge all leaders to refrain from discouraging members of our society from taking these jabs. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we salute all frontline workers who risk their lives on a daily basis to save ours. We extend our sincere and heartfelt condolences to all families who lost their loved ones, whose loved ones succumbed to this deadly pandemic. Honorable Deputy Speaker, this year we celebrate 25 years since the adoption of our Constitution, which is the supreme law of our country. It stands as our most potent mechanism to enable restorative justice and transformation. It is the instrument for systematically erasing the atrocities committed against the people of this country. It remains the antidote to heal the divisions of the past. Unfortunately, at this point in time, we still experience in some parts of our country actions of racism. Our children are discriminated against at schools. They are told that their hair are not done the way they are supposed to, That is unacceptable in this country at this point in time. As the ANC's Honorable Deputy Speaker, we remain committed in our vision of building a non-racial, non-sexist, and democratic South Africa, a united, non-racial, non-sexist, democratic South Africa. We urge all South Africans to stand together behind this constitution. We all should be able to uphold this document which is respected all over the world. Honorable Deputy Speaker, it is a pity that at this point in time, we still see racial killings among some of our society, which is not acceptable at all. Let's try our level best to rally behind this constitution and try to build a united, non-racial, non-sexist society. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the ANC's transformation agenda entails building legitimate developmental state that serves the interest of the overwhelming majority, which is based on the democratic constitution and culture of human rights, which uses public resources to better the lives of the majority, especially the poor. In its strategy and tactics document, the ANC further reaffirms its aspiration to building a developmental state that provides effective basic services with capabilities to take forward a far-reaching agenda of national economic development, while at the same time placing people and their involvement in the center of this process. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the NDP also urges us to work collaboratively as a nation to advance South Africa's transformation agenda. This means that civil society, religious bodies, and communities across the board must stand in unity with government in order to build a cohesive society. Mhlonishwa somlomo, lesikubonako kwendeka kuphambene nemthetho-sisekelo. Siyati ukuthi kubomasipala wethu nakulamanye matiko ahulumende etifundza. Kuyaliwa kepha lento lekulwelwa yona akulwelwa ukuthi siletha njani tinsita ebantwini. Kepha silwela ukuthi ingabe mina ngitawutholani kuyo yonke lento. Sithi lokhu kuphambene nemthetho-sisekelo ngoba umthetho-sisekelo ukhuluma ngekuthi kufanele sende timpilo tebantu tibe ngcono, kufanele silethe tinsita ebantwini kude timpilo tabo tibe ngcono, kepha akwendeki lokho. Mhlonishwa somlomo, sithi siyinhlangano yakhongolose ngete sakumela ukuthi siloku sipendwa ngapendele emnyama sonke kuthiwa sithi sikhohlakele. Fighting fraud and corruption is one of our manifesto's priorities as the ANC. And we don't wait for the electioneering period or time to talk about corruption. It's acted upon for all to see. Our president has just said so. Corruption is the cancer that is slowly destroying our beautiful country. We are tired of being labeled as corrupt just because we are members of the ANC. It cannot be business as usual that we are all painted with the same brush. Corruption doesn't have a name or a surname. Those found to have committed fraud and corruption must be dealt with accordingly, be it in government or private sector. We have law enforcement agencies of this country who are empowered to deal with those, and they must recoup monies from those who found to have committed these crimes. As Parliament, we have also given the Auditor General enough of South Africa, enough power to recoup monies from corrupt individuals. We are confident that our brand new female Auditor General with her vast experience in this field, will be given the necessary support to perform her duties. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the establishment of the National School of Governance to foster professionalism and increasing accountability in the public sector will culminate professionalism and further cultivate the culture of improving performance management. Performance management and professionalization of the public sector is an imperative excessive towards the realization and capability and capable developmental state in an endeavor to lift the country's growth and developmental trajectory to a higher level. As the ANC, we welcome the national implementation framework towards the professionalization of the public sector. We believe the framework will go a long way in bringing change in the public sector. It will also demystify the negative perspective about the public sector in general. We further hope it will foster and improve performance, implementation of government programs, policies, and promote consequence management against unethical conduct by the public servants. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the ANC is committed to building a capable developmental state that is able to lead and mobilize society behind its objectives, organizational systems that ensure that the state is able to meet its objectives, and technical capacity. Honorable Deputy Speaker, ngete sakhulumela abantu labati nje kubanga msindo uma kukhulunywa bangalaleli ukuthi kuthiwani. Sing ANC siyenda asigcini ngekukhuluma kuphela. Sithi uhulumende wethu akachubekele embili nalawo ma law enforcement agencies sithi awende umsebenzi wawo lapho kutholakala khona ukuthi ngende umkhonyovu akudliwe yonke impahla yami kuthengiswe kude kutotholakala leti mali tebakhokhi betinzela tibuyiselwe esikhwameni lapho kufanele tisetshenziswe khona. Honorable Deputy Speaker, re kemisetse re le mokgatlo wa ANC go lwa le manyofonyofo. Honorable Speaker,
just hold on.
Deputy Speaker, my apologies for interrupting the Deputy Chief Whip. I understand that there aren't translation services on the virtual platform, and we would like to hear what the Deputy Chief Whip is saying, but that according to some of our members. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Please sort it out. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, go ahead.
Mhlonishwa Deputy Speaker, ne ke sa tjho hore re le mokgatlo wa ANC re ikemisetse go lwisana le manyofonyofo a etsahalang mo di departmenting tsa rona, mo go political space tsa rona le ko di masipaleng tsa rona, gore corruption is ka diragala ka mabitso a rona. Re gatetse gore re biditswe ka batho ba ba leng corrupt, re be re se corrupt. Ke a leboga mhlomphegi Somlomo.
Thank you. Honorable McPherson.
Mr. President, when you assumed this office nearly 3.5 years ago, you did the most dangerous thing a politician can do. You filled a nation with hope. You promised our country a new dawn. You said we could lend our hands to you and that together we would travel a road of prosperity. In truth, you have led us down a path to nowhere. Every single promise you have made, you have broken. You promised us growth of 5% by 2023. You will deliver 1.9% this year. You promised 1 million paid internships by 2020. You only delivered 32,000 by 2019. You promised jobs for our young people. Today, 74% of them are unemployed. You promised our country you would halve violent crime, and yet there's an increase in rape and murder. You promised us that you would deal with corruption, which robs the poor, and yet you have a health minister mired in corruption allegations. Mr. President, we are on a road to nowhere because of you. We don't need master plans that make it more expensive to do business in South Africa and make food and goods and services more unaffordable. Master plans are your new buzzword, but they are exactly like every other plan that you have come up with, bound to fail. We don't need more plans, Mr. President. We need leadership. We don't need BE to be intensified, as you said it should be. We need to scrap it and build an economy for the many and not the few, and stop economic reservations for the rich and those that are connected to your political party. We need coherent government policies that drive competition, lower costs and broaden access. We don't need more state control determining what should be made in South Africa under the guise of localization, or the Competition Commission telling foreign buyers that they can't buy businesses because they aren't black. How does that help your investment drive, Mr. President? On the 2nd of September 2015, an eminent member of Cabinet tasked with turning around SOEs said the following, and I quote, "In 18 months to 2 years, you will forget about the challenges that we had with relation to power and energy in Eskom ever happened." Do you have any idea who said that, Mr. President? It was you. And for nearly 6 years now, you've broken that promise to us. How can we build an economy, create jobs, and fight a pandemic when we're continuously suffering with blackouts? Mr. President, our people are dying on a daily basis because of COVID-19. And these deaths now, happening today, are avoidable had you not broken your promise to protect this country. Instead of procuring vaccines, your ANC comrades were obsessed with stealing money meant for jabs and fighting the pandemic. They were the real pandemic in South Africa. And you, Mr. President, have utterly failed in getting vaccines into people's arms. You've remained silent on the biggest test of your leadership through this time, and that is the alleged corruption involving Health Minister Zweli Mkhize. Mr. President, I have one simple question which you simply cannot get away from in this debate. Are you comfortable with having a health minister who is accused, along with his family, of benefiting from an irregular digital vibes contract worth 150 million rand? Yes or no? We don't need time and space. We want action, Mr. President. There's a big difference between the DA and the ANC, honourable members. The ANC can't get anything done because it only serves its only purpose is to lie, steal and cheat. The DA is hard at work every day getting things done, from fixing potholes to providing sanitation services to residents of our municipalities. We get things done. The Western Cape continues to show the highest levels of employment in South Africa because we get things done. The Western Cape health response has been the best in South Africa during this pandemic because we get things done. Midvaal in Gauteng is the best run municipality because we get things done. The city of Cape Town continues to attract international investment because we get things done. You may not like us, but it is clear from every metric that where the DA governs, we get things done. Mr. President, it's time that you start getting things done. Time is running out and people's lives depend on it. I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable J.S. Malema.
Thank you very much, Thobela, Deputy Speaker, le badudi ka moka wa South Africa, le mo President wa rena le the honorable members. We were asking ourselves this morning whether we should participate in this debate or not, because the president who was coming to present the presidency budget vote lacks inspiration himself, speaks like a tired fellow who who doesn't believe in anything he says. And to demonstrate that he doesn't believe in anything he says is because everything he has said did not happen. Yesterday, Statistician General released the latest quarterly labor force survey. The picture points to the dire state of affairs, a crisis that you have created. South Africa's real unemployment at more than 42% and at a close to 50% for black people is at the worst levels of unemployment ever. When you took over in 2018, you said that all the center of your national agenda is creating jobs, especially for the youth. We now know that this was baseless, superficial, and ill-advised ambition. When you took over, 16.3 million people were employed. Today, only 15 million people are employed. More than 1.3 million people lost their jobs, ability to feed their families, put a roof over their heads, or live as active members of society. Since you took over, the number of unemployed people increased from 6.1 million to 7.2 million. You didn't make any progress. The number of discouraged workers remain at 2.9 million, and the number of people who are not in education, training, or employment. Many of these are young people who just loiter the streets, find refuge in drug abuse and crime because they don't have anything to do. You are responsible for all this crisis. But knowing you, having left our people and families fatherless in Marikana, you will not be ashamed of these statistics because you took breadwinners in Marikana, and now you have taken jobs from the breadwinners who are feeding a lot of our people. Another issue that you paraded when you got elected is a land question. When you took over on the land question, you said, I quote,
Honorable Malema.
Guided by the resolution.
Honorable Malema, one moment. Yes, what are you raising on, Honorable Member?
I'm raising on Rule 85.
Yes.
The members just said the President has taken the lives of people of Marikana.
Yes.
I think it must come to a substantive motion. Thank you, sir.
All right. Honorable Malema,
Yes,
this point of order is sustained. You can't blame the President in the way in which you do without a substantive motion. Order.
Deputy Speaker, did I lose you?
Yeah, can Honorable Ndlozi please stop doing what he's doing? Honorable Malema, I'm saying that the point of order is sustained. You can't say what you said about the President and Marikana without a substantive motion in the House.
There's a court ruling on that, Chair. Remember that.
I am saying, sir, we have ruled on this matter before. In the House, you have to bring that with a substantive motion, whether it's in the court or outside, anywhere in a book, quoted. If it's in the House, it must be done with a substantive motion. It's a rule that you are...
Deputy Speaker, can we help you?
No, I don't need your help, Honorable Ndlozi, and stop doing that, talking without being asked to talk. You didn't ask for permission to talk in the first place.
May I request permission to speak, Deputy Speaker, with the greatest respect?
No, I've asked a question from the Honorable Member, and so he is going to respond to me. Don't interrupt.
No, I don't know what you want me to do, Speaker. Tell me what to do, I'll do it.
I'm saying withdraw what you said. That's as simple.
Okay, I withdraw, Speaker.
Thank you.
Again, the issue of the land question which you paraded when you took over is one such issue that you don't believe in it. When you took over on the land question, you said, and I quote, guided by the resolution of the 54th National Conference of the governing party, this approach will include the expropriation of land without compensation. Now we are at the end tail of the parliament process to finalize amendments of section 25 of the Constitution to allow for expropriation of land without compensation. Your MPs in the committee are zigzagging and cannot make explicit submission that speaks to what you said when you took over. We told you, to be honest, that you have never believed in the expropriation of land without compensation. We told you you are bluffing on the land question. We told you that you will mess up the process because you are not convinced about taking back the land from colonial settlers. As the EFF, we have made our submission. We want the Constitution to acknowledge that land, like mineral resources and water, is a natural resources and the common heritage which belong to all our people. We must expropriate all land and place it under the custodianship of the democratic state. Custodianship is not the same as nationalization. When we talk about nationalization, the state takes control of whatever assets and the state uses whatever is nationalized for the collective benefit of the population. However, when we talk about the custodianship, the state does not take the land to use it. Instead, the land is only in the state custody as a conduit or to facilitate for people to access land. With the land in the state's custody, we'll have a strong, clear, confident legislation on land tenure to protect our people from corrupt and scrupulous officials. We are not talking about expropriation of houses. People continue to have full rights to their own homes and other properties built on the land. With the land in the hands of the state, people will apply for the land they want to use it, or if they can't use it, then allow others who can use it to do so. This is the most practical way to address the land question and ensure that even those who want to invest in businesses with security can do so with certainty. We are already doing this in special economic zones. We have said many times before, and will repeat it here, that we as the EFF will not vote for a sellout amendment which still speaks of compensation. We will not vote for a constitutional amendment which refuses to acknowledge state custodianship of South Africa's land, because we know that expropriation of land piece by piece will take us more than 100 years to reclaim our land. We want to make it clear to this parliament and to all people of South Africa, Africa and the diaspora, the young, the old, those who died for freedom and those who are still going to be born, that we have tried everything to persuade the ruling party to repossess our land in a peaceful and constitutional manner, and because they are controlled by white interests, they refused. We have agreed to the last extension of the ad hoc committee on amendment of Section 25 of the Constitution, and we will not extend again if we do not find each other. The ruling party must be committed and must assign serious and senior people to engage with us on the land question, not those who have thus far not demonstrated any form of appreciation of this historic moment. The land issue, Mr. President, is not something you can politic with. It's a serious, emotive issue, and you either with us or you are with them. We want our land for those who were dispossessed and they were not compensated. We cannot compensate those who took our land without even this long, protracted consultation, which is unnecessary. President, when you appointed your trusted confidante, Jamnandas, as Minister of Public Enterprise, we warned you. We told you that he will collapse the minimal strategic capacity of the state to rebuild its capacity.
Honorable Malema, one moment. Yes, honorable member.
I'm rising.
As long as you stop my time, I don't have a problem.
On Rule 82, we cannot call each other in first name terms. Thank you.
Sustained. Call whoever you are mentioning if he's a member of the House, but properly, as you know how we do it. Honorable Malema.
Mr. Jamnandas, am I in order?
Proceed, honorable member. You know that.
But you said you will intervene and decisively to stabilize and revitalize SOEs. Mr. Jamnandas has closed South African Airways and SA Express, now Mango Airline. Workers were left stranded, lining up for COVID-19 food relief and unable to take their children to school. Dinel is on its knees. The last time workers were paid salaries was in May 2020. Today, workers at Dinel are owed more than 500 million. Post Office is on a campaign to close more than 100 branches Many communities depend on the post offices, including to receive SASSA grants. The post office in the many villages and township is in the window through which our people interact with government. People are going to lose their jobs, and old grannies and young single mothers will have to spend high amounts on transport trying to reach the next post office. We therefore demand not even one office of the South African Post Office should be closed, because such will make our people poorer. If you could bail out SAA and the SABC, you must immediately put money to save the post office, because it is on the cold face of providing basic services to our people. You are privatizing Eskom through independent power producers. These IPPs continue to bleed Eskom of its cash. You are aware that the collapse of Eskom, because of the size of its debt, spells problems for all of us, including fiscus, but you continue to gamble with these assets in the bond market. The unbundling of Eskom will cost our country more than 500 million, and knowing how you handle business, this amount will be multiplied by 10 to 5 billion. And we said to you several times here that do not unbundle Eskom. You are unbundling Eskom because you are hell-bent on privatization of energy generation, which primarily will benefit the people and companies associated with you in the past and present, like Cyril, which has been given an regional coal contract of more than 60 billion to supply Majuba power station. In October 2020, the National Treasury rejected Eskom request to extend the South 32 City contract and told Eskom to contract. Eskom, a contract could not be increased without testing the market, but we are told that the contract was extended for another 4 years, increasing the contract by 33%, daylight corruption. You have removed a capture tendency and replaced it with a capture tendency to allow corruption and collapse of Eskom and other state-owned enterprises to continue. Why is no one held accountable for load shedding that has become a common occurrence? You keep saying you want to rebuild the state and government capacity. How are you going to do it when you are dismantling it at all? Your energy policy is problematic. In Sona, you said you intend to decommission coal power stations by 2050, while our government is in the middle of constructing the most expensive coal power station, Medupi and Kusile. Mr. President, South Africa's energy policy has to focus on mixed energy resources, including coal, renewable energy, liquefied natural gas, and nuclear. South Africa's government must form strategic partnership with countries that have proven track record on nuclear energy, and not only focus on West for solution. If China, Russia, Turkey, and the countries in the Emirates have superior technology on extracting electricity from nuclear or from gas, let us build strategic partnership with them and not blindly follow the West misguided on energy policy. Earlier this year, you promised that government will deliver a mass COVID-19 vaccination program that will reach all 60 million South Africans. But we know that your government has mismanaged the rollout program. Only 0.8 of the population has been covered. The population is today fully vaccinated. This is less than 500,000 people. The minister you have entrusted with the COVID-19 rollout is busy looting money through unnecessary public relations, while nurses and doctors do not have access to vaccine. The over-dependence on West countries is part of the reason your government has mismanaged the whole rollout. President...
Honorable Malema, there's a point of order. Yes, Honorable Member.
Chairperson, I'm raising on Rule 85.
Yes.
The member has just said the Minister of Health is looting the resources of the state.
Honorable Malema, sustained. You know you can't do that. Honorable members, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to Honorable Malema. Can you keep quiet whilst we are doing a ruling? If it happens to you, you won't like it. Absolutely. Honorable Malema, you know you can't do that, and you know how to do it, if you want to do it.
The minister you have appointed, President, it is alleged that is looting money through unnecessary public relations while nurses and doctors do not have access to the vaccine. The over-dependence on the West countries is part of the reason your government has mismanaged the whole rollout. President, you go around complaining that Western countries are holding vaccine. You said this when you addressed the World Economic Forum in January, and you repeated the same cry when you addressed many other various platforms, including this parliament. We know that the China COVID-19 vaccine, Sinovac, has sufficient efficiency rate, and the Chinese are not holding it as other countries, including our neighbor Zimbabwe, is having access to it. We also know that Russian Sputnik is being manufactured in bulk, and the Russians are not holding any vaccine from any country that is willing to engage them, including their local agents here in South Africa. Is the obsession with the American and European COVID-19 vaccine motivated by profit, not blinding you and your government to available alternatives? You have never wanted to entertain. The only thing you do every time you take a platform on vaccine is to say there is a process you are engaged with to approve Sinovac and Sputnik. And that's the only thing you do. The reality of the situation is that the authorities have been given a mandate not to even entertain Sinovac and Sputnik. I asked you the other day if you are involved in transactions or you are involved in ensuring that you save lives. If you are a sensitive person who cares about the lives of black people, you would have by now be doing a sit-in at the authorities' offices to ensure that both Sinovac and Sputnik are approved. You need as many options as possible, not as many money for your pocket as possible. You are involved in transactions, and you are not involved in a program to save life.
Honorable Malema, you are repeating allegations against the president in an unacceptable manner, and it is out of order. Withdraw that statement you've just made now.
It's a political statement.
Withdraw the statement.
It's not an allegation.
Honorable member,
I'm saying
honorable member, you withdraw it or you stop talking. That's
but we have been doing so very well so far. Don't bring that attitude.
Listen here, Honorable Malema, just withdraw. Don't lecture me. Don't lecture me. Just withdraw. That's all you want to do.
No, but why are you getting agitated? Get water with sugar or something.
I am agitated when you break rules. Simple. You break rules, I get agitated.
So, which rule did I break now?
Withdraw.
Honorable member, just withdraw. And you who's speaking without permission, you don't do that. We don't need your help in the first place. Honorable Malema, withdraw your statement.
Which statement must I withdraw now? I said so many things.
Honorable Malema, withdraw your statement. You can't be making allegations against the president in the way in which you do, and you must withdraw it. I'm not going to be your conduit for your statements that are out of order.
I don't want you to be my conduit. I'm saying the statements myself. Why would you be a conduit? Withdraw. I'm not saying them through you. I'm saying them myself.
Withdraw
I'm not scared to say them.
So you withdraw them.
People are dying. People are dying. We don't have vaccine
Honorable
yet.
Malema,
the president is obsessed with the European and American vaccines. How is that unparliamentary?
Finally, I'm asking you, if you don't, you're going to be switched off. Is that okay?
Okay, I withdraw.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, you must know that the death of so many people because of lack of provision of vaccine will be blamed on you. You will be a president that has failed to rescue a lot of our people when they needed you. Like in Marikana, when our people needed you, you were not there for them. Today, our people need you to be there for them, to go and buy vaccine for them. When you took over, you pretended to be a very good singer here, and you said, Tumamina. Tumamina, people have tumated you to go and fetch vaccine, but you have not brought back any vaccine.
Must you withdraw?
Can kick off Honorable Ndlozi with the greatest of respect. Kick him out. Just take him off the platform, please. Please, he must not speak again. One more time. Not anymore today. Please do that. He's disrupting Honorable Malema speaking there.
Can I proceed?
Proceed, Honorable Malema.
Mr. President, there is an emergence of an abuse of power. The same thing we saw. And this happens because of some of the people who remain in your cabinet that we have always advised, including amongst others, Mr. Jamnandas. The abuse of institutions of the state to prosecute those who disagree with you. It will haunt you to the grave. It will not only haunt you, it will haunt your children and their children's children. Let us not use the Hawks, SARS, SIU, NPA to settle political scores. No leader should win a debate through an intimidation. I found one of your people crying that they are unable to express themselves because the SIU is on their neck. For no apparent reason. There is a state of intimidation that has emerged in this country. And I want to promise you today that if you are going to use the state institutions to think you can threaten people and intimidate them, you will find us ready. We have gone through that under President Zuma, and we are prepared to go through that even now. There is no amount of state abuse of state power that can suppress political views. And it is not going to happen, Mr. President. It's a strategy that will never work. It's a strategy that will not work even for you. It has not worked before. Let's win debate. Let's win politics through working the ground, not through abuse of money, not through abuse of state power. Because abuse of state power is going to come back. The same people you are using today,
thank you
they will be the ones that are in a commission of inquiry talking about how to abuse your power.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Honorable Hope, you can't be doing that in the first place. That's out of order. You can't be doing that. And it's incorrect to be throwing language like that in the House.
I hope he's a failed politician, man. His career is finished. He's now sending around papers in that parliament.
Honorable Malema,
he's a joke in the township where he comes from.
You have no right to be talking the way you do. Nobody gave you permission to do that.
Bye. I'm done. Bye. You can say whatever you want to say. Bye.
Honorable Buthelezi. Honorable members, please, man, this is a presidential debate, and we would like some order to exist in the House here. Honorable Hope, if you are not happy to stick around with us in the House, that door is absolutely not locked. Don't do that to me, please.
Remove him, Speaker. Remove him. Remove Hope. He's Hope.
In the first place. Hope
must go. Please,
Honorable Shenge.
I never asked for your assistance.
Oh, there are changes here that I do not realize. No. Okay.
He was preparing.
Honorable Deputy President, it's your turn.